It is Tuesday. That means time for your PNW Ag Network price at the pump. Joining us on the PNW Ag Network hotline, Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy. Patrick, last time you and I had a chance to sit down and talk, we were talking about how the American economy is really impacting oil investors and where those oil prices were moving up and down. Is that still the trend that we see as we get another week started?
Well, it really is. New banking concerns have pushed oil prices down on the prospects that it certainly could lead to a turnaround in the economy. That is, instead of continuing to see growth, the banking sector could push the U.S. Closer to the brink of a slowdown. And for that reason, since the banking concerns have persisted now for the last week, oil prices have continued to struggle this morning, giving up another $1 a barrel. We're below $66. That's the lowest since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Barrel of West Texas Intermediate now at $65.79 a barrel. The pull down in the drop of oil, which now has fallen over $10 a barrel in the last week, is pulling gas prices down at a time of year that gas prices tend to go up. The statewide average in Washington State now $4.16. That's a drop of 4 cents a gallon at a time of year that is pretty rare. Diesel prices also continuing to inch down at about $4.90 a gallon in Washington State.
Patrick, break it down for me. Is there more concern with this banking issue because it appears to not just be a U.S. thing, but this is something impacting the U.S., Europe, and almost the entire global economy?
Well, that's exactly it. There are fears that with rising interest rates around the world, that this could certainly engulf more banks globally. Certainly, we've already seen some significant bank names involved. With UBS taking over Credit Suisse over the weekend. So a lot of anxiety that this may not be the end of it, and what the implications could be on the economy could be significant. And that is why oil prices have struggled as of late. OPEC, unlikely to do much to stem the decline after suggesting that they believe this is a short-term issue. So at least for now, oil prices will likely continue to struggle until there's some sort of resolution or more confidence in the global banking system. For now, that means refined products and crude oil prices are under selling pressure.
Patrick, I wouldn't want to simplify anything by any stretch of the imagination, but since all eyes are on the economy and on the banking system right now, does that mean things that have kind of led the headlines for the last 12 months, give or take, specifically China, their economy, as well as the Black Sea region, are those no longer the concerns, or are they just not getting the attention?
Well, they certainly aren't getting much of the attention. I think a lot of the situation overseas with Russia's invasion of Ukraine and energy out of Russia certainly haven't really stood up compared to the banking sector issues that are happening now. So while those are issues, they are certainly not in the limelight as the current banking issues are. Certainly, if the situation with the banking sector improves, those issues could once again step in the spotlight, especially as China's economy continues to reopen. Economic activity in China is certainly booming as the Chinese start to get out more and more with the relaxation of the COVID-0 policies that had hampered China's economy. So once the banking situation is done, I would expect a quick turn to an increase in consumption out of China. And I think that's probably why OPEC is not stepping in yet, because there certainly could be a big jump in consumption once the banking crisis is resolved.
And Patrick, correct me where I'm wrong. Typically this time of year, we talk about transitioning over to the summer blends, increased demand in the United States. So even if one issue gets settled, there are going to be other reasons that are going to really impact the way prices move in the coming months.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, the seasonal rise in prices has been at least put on pause for now, simply because it's been overpowered by the banking concerns that we've seen. But in the backdrop, there are still seasonal trends that could push prices up should the banking situation ease. Those pressures including refinery maintenance and the transition to cleaner, more expensive blends of fuel. So all of those issues are still there, but we're seeing a temporary reprieve in gas prices as the overall concern in the banking sector outweighs those seasonal trends. Worth mentioning perhaps that the national average declined for the first time in 2 weeks. The average diesel price, or I should say the median diesel price, now falling to $4.09 a gallon, whereas the national average for diesel has fallen to $4.25. So finally, some sustained improvement in the price of diesel, and that should continue to help to lead to disinflation numbers in the weeks and months ahead.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy, thanks so much for joining us right here on PNWAg.net.